There are basically two kinds of addictions. One is a chemical or substance addiction, and the other is behavioral. So there are people who are just addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I think we kind of understand that. You know, if you ever try to withdraw from nicotine and cigarettes or try to go on a diet, you can understand the draw to want to use, to want to smoke, to want to eat more, or if you're into drugs, to want to do more drugs. But the other kind of addiction is behavioral addiction. And behavioral addictions are things like being addicted to compulsive overeating, being addicted to problems with the internet and constantly losing yourself in gaming, being addicted to gambling and compulsive gambling. And sex falls into this category of behavioral addiction. So the question is, if you're addicted to a behavior, are you really getting high on that behavior in the same way that a drug addict gets high on heroin or cocaine? And the answer is absolutely. In fact, drug addicts are high long before they get drugs too. I mean, if you think about what somebody goes through when they're driving to a dealer's house and they're going to go buy those drugs, and they have the money in their pocket and they're all excited about going, and they've been on the phone talking to the dealer, and the dealer says, "Come on down, I've got the drugs," and you know, they're driving there and they're thinking how exciting it's going to be there and do the drugs. They're emotionally and psychologically and neurochemically high long before they put that pipe in their mouth or put the drug in their vein. They're high on the drugs that are engaged through fantasy. Those drugs are adrenaline, endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. These are the hormones that regulate our moods. And if you are addicted to a behavior, you can use those hormones and use those drugs to get yourself into a state of intense excitement and arousal. Again, not genital arousal, but emotional arousal, without ever putting anything into your body. So I work with a sex addict who will look at porn for 3 hours. Or drive around a block for 2 or 3 hours looking for prostitutes. Now, if you're a sex addict and you just wanted to have sex, it seems like you could get the sex act done in just a couple of minutes. So it's not really, behavioral addictions are not about the gambling, not about the sex, not about the internet gaming. What behavioral addictions are about is losing yourself in the high of the pursuit of that behavior. So if I was sitting with a drug addict who was on their way to the dealer's house, and I was measuring his body temperature and his heart rate and his breathing and his pupils and how they were dilating, I would see him go through a whole process of neurochemical arousal long before he or she got to the drugs. And that change in their neurochemistry is what all behavioral addicts are addicted to. They're addicted to the high of the adrenaline, the endorphins, the serotonin release, the oxytocin, the neurochemicals that we perceive as influence on our moods and our day-to-day lives.